Everyone, Teresa Aker here from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. It's my privilege today to bring you Gloria Hass. How you doing, Gloria?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Teresa.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Now, Gloria is an intuitive, and we're going to talk about the afterlife today and maybe some other things. So, Gloria, let's talk about where you started with all of this.
I'm a natural born clairvoyant, and I could see things as a child, could see spirits and stuff. And I'm also a medium, so I can communicate with the afterlife. And to me, it was normal. My parents thought I was crazy. My mom, being an intuitive herself, was more into the physical with tangible things. Her and I could communicate telepathically.
Oh,
And yeah, I could be 3,000 miles away and I would hear Gloria call me and I pick up the phone. This is before cell phones. So
oh my.
we shared long distance phone calls. We paid a long distance phone bill.
Oh my God. That's exciting. Honestly, that
And
I can't believe it. So you could actually hear?
I could hear her when she was alive. And this started in my 20s when I left home. And I knew as a teenager when I was going to get in trouble, when mom was going to be in a bad mood, and I would tell my half brother, I would say, Norman, mom's going to be in a bad mood when she comes home. And he looked at me and goes, "You're really stupid. You don't know what you're talking about." Sure enough, she'd walk through the door, she'd be in a bad mood, and he'd just look at me and I said, "Told you." And we'd be running to our bedrooms because if she had a really bad day, plus we did not know at the time that she was bipolar, had mental health issues. To us, this was normal behavior because that's what we were born into. To us, that's normal. But even when I moved cross country, I could tell, and then I would send a message back, "Our phone bill's too high. You're going to have to call." And within a minute, she'd be calling me.
Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I love it. Wow. Okay, keep going. So now, so you can, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. So this is why I had you on the show because I love this stuff. I would think that there's something, of course, everyone could do if they really concentrated, but when you have it naturally, what an exciting gift that you have, Gloria.
Thank you. And I could even growing up in school project thoughts into other people's heads.
What?
I can still do that.
You can project thoughts into other people's heads?
Yes.
So what do you mean by that? Let's expand
Okay.
on that a little bit.
Okay. I was a teenager and I had a crush on this guy, David. And he lived about a mile or so, a couple of miles away, next to a girlfriend of mine that would take, that's where we walked or rode our bikes everywhere. And I would go to her house, and she goes, "He's not home," because her house was on a hill and his was down the hill from hers. But anyway, I hadn't seen him in a while, and I was thinking, my mom goes, we haven't, and she thought he was good looking. He looked like Michael Nesmith from the Monkees. He was with blue eyes. He was gorgeous. And my mom would say, one day my mom said to me, "You haven't seen David in a while." I said, "No, he hasn't gone to the park because we live two doors down from the community park." So he had a choice of either walking in front of her house or going the other street, either walking down L10 or going down 55th. I said, "Yeah, I miss him." My mom said, "Why don't you just think about him?" I'm like, "What? Think about him." And I would say, she said, "Okay, let's test this." I went ahead and I said, "What do I do?" She said, "Say, David, I would like to see you walk in front of my house and give a time frame." And I'm looking at my mom like, "Oh gosh, she's crazy." So I did it. And within a half an hour, he was walking in front of our house to go to the park. My mom looked at me and goes, "Yes, you can go to the park."
Oh, I like, thanks, Mom.
We had to get permission,
Oh
to
my
go
goodness. And now we're
anywhere.
all visualizing David. We're all like, oh, that's so sweet. Gloria, I love that story. That's wonderful. So now you've got David walking. Were you feeling weird about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
totally weird. But and then I would start doing it on my own and I felt more comfortable. And not, it didn't happen all the time because there are times he wasn't able to. And there were times when I asked him to walk in front of my house that he had my phone number. We were in the phone book. So he knew what street I lived on and he looked up the last name because we were in school together. So the phone would ring. And my mom goes, "It's David."
Oh my
And,
gosh. She
and
knew
I go,
before he answered or before you
no,
answered.
no, she picked up the phone and answered. And
Oh,
he
she
said,
picked it up. Oh, I thought maybe your
"Yeah,
mom, I know who it
no,
is.
no." My mom would say, "Do you know who that is?" "No, mom, I didn't at the time." And
Okay.
she would answer and she'd say, "Gloria, it's for you. It's David." Because she would ask, "Who is calling?" This is when everybody
Yeah.
screened everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I would get on the phone. He goes, "I can't make it to the park today, but I thought I would give you a call."
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's wonderful, Gloria. I love that. So while you're young, you have all of this. It must have been so first you have to adjust to it and you have to think, okay, this is what I can do. And
Mhm.
now as you go into your later years, are you able to use that to your benefit? So let's say for studying or for getting careers, things like that, would you be able to implement that somehow?
Not for studying because
Okay.
I had brain damage
Oh,
from when I was a stillborn.
okay.
So I had brain damage. I had a learning disability,
Okay.
but I already knew that college was not the right choice for me, even though my parents were pushing me in that direction. And I didn't know what direction to go. Like other teenagers, I wanted to be a veterinarian, but I couldn't handle math. And it was just, then I wanted to be a social worker. And then I had to take I enjoyed psychology, but all the other classes I struggled with, like archaeology, anthropology, and the sciences I excelled in. But it was, my mom said, "Why don't you just go into secretarial sciences?" Because I could take
Sure.
shorthand in high school at 120 words a minute, and I could type 90 words a minute.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I'm thinking, I think I could do like 40
that
at
was in
best.
high
That was
school.
a good moment. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so I intuitively knew machines like typewriters, and then that went on to computers and fax machines and copiers.
Sure. Now,
So,
so today you've had this skill for a long time. You use
mhm.
that today. And then I want to get into where we're talking about the afterlife.
Okay, today I use it to where I don't always use it because there's energy required. And even
Oh,
if I'm doing an intuitive reading, what I do is I do them by email. So in a couple of days, what I do is I put together any visions that I have and I ask, I say, "Okay, God, what knowledge is it okay for me to relay to this person?
oh,
What do
okay.
you want me to know?" And then it gets put down, and there are times I wake up from dreams or I hear a song title. I don't know what any of this is, so then
Okay.
I still implement it into the reading and I send it off in an email. And the person may come back or may not about it. And I'll say, "I don't know what this means, but I hear this." Or there is a dream and I have to unpack it. And there are times where I don't know what the dream means. So I do a search on the internet and then things can come to me intuitively. So today also, that's what I do with things today. And if someone approaches me to be a guest on my podcast or they're interested, I already automatically send out the energy vibes. And I know if someone is a fake profile and I block them.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, and there are times where I have instant connection with people and I can tell about past lives if we were in a past life together.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Now,
And they look at me like,
tell over the computer?
"Yes."
So you know where I'm going next, don't you?
No, why don't
The
you tell me?
house. I know we're just having fun, Gloria.
I know.
I'm just playing with you. But I've heard like the past lives and people who do past life readings and how they get you to meditate and go down lower in your mind so that you can think about you might have had a past life. And so you would have to believe, I would think in your mind, you have to believe that there's such a thing as a past life, that you have an intuitive thoughts already, the person yourself. And then from there, as you think of thoughts, is it someone feeding you a self-fulfilling prophecy, or is it thoughts that really are from a past life? And you would have to believe in reincarnation. So there's a lot of elements that go with that as well, too, right?
Exactly, because I never believed in past lives, but it's like, why am I having all these dreams?
Right.
Why? And when I was in my 20s and married, I lived back east, and my husband was into the different metaphysical things. Only I was like, you've got to be kidding. He goes, let's just take a journey. And he went to the local bookstore, metaphysical bookstore, and asked if there was going to be a local thing in someone's house. And we went, and then we were put on a phone list and then also a mailing list, which you would receive letters come to your mailbox at home. There's no email in the 1970s
Yeah,
and
that's
no
right.
text messaging. So we would be told where this one couple was, and he would take people into past lives. And we drove to Delaware from north of Baltimore. That's where we lived, was in Kingsville. And we drove to Delaware to this person's house a couple of times. You're talking like a couple of hours. So we went, and during this one past life regression, it took me to being a princess in Maya, being a Mayan princess. And I
Wow.
remember seeing this really huge pyramid, and the guy sitting to my left, even my husband at the time said, oh my gosh. And Bruce, who was leading it, he and his wife, Jean, after it would ask me questions and I'm giving answers.
Oh
But
my
it's
God.
like, but after I came out of it, they said my skin turned a reddish brown. My eyes turned blue because he had me take my glasses off because I have green eyes. They went to a complete blue. My hair went black and my bone structure changed, my voice changed. And the guy sitting left to me, I looked at him, he was like, oh my God, was freaked out. He said, you did change, your voice changed, and told me everything. He goes, I'm never coming back to one of these again.
That's crazy. So you turned into the person you were from a past life,
Right.
and they saw it. Was it taped? I'm just asking.
No, this is before cell phones
Oh,
and
too
camera.
bad.
They would
That would
only
have been
have, they
awesome.
could take a Polaroid picture, but he never, but I had a whole room full of people witnessing it.
Sure, sure.
But it would have been nice to have seen a picture if they
Yeah,
would have
because if
had a
they had
camera.
taped that, oh my goodness, that would have been fast. It now, could you remember when you came out of it? Could you remember it all?
I remembered it. I didn't at the beginning. And then as he started talking, and I've also had other glimpses into that life with a past life regression from someone I know and trust. I don't just let anyone do a past life regression on me.
Sure, that makes sense. Absolutely. You have to trust whoever you're working with. Now, so let's talk about the other side. And the reason I want to
Okay.
get to that is because so many people, I've had lots of people request actually, people who talk about the afterlife, talk about the paranormal. I've had people who actually have written books on paranormal and just wonderful guests. You're all just wonderful. And I respect what you do and say now whether I have no proof that there's an afterlife, none whatsoever. I've certainly talked to people about it. I've lost people in my life that I care deeply, so deeply about that I almost feel like I can feel them in the room, and it's just, it is what it is. However, what I want to ask you, Gloria, is one, you obviously believe in a spiritual world. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Do you hear people? Do you hear ideas? Do you get visions? What do you get out of that? What makes you feel like, yes, this is definite. I have absolute proof myself to say, yes, there's an afterlife.
I have it on camera.
No way.
Yes, I have a picture of me in my pajamas, flannel pants. I had my video going and I had my oversized t-shirt, had these on, listening to music and dancing in the kitchen. And behind me, you could see the energy. You could see it glow. And
Oh
I
my
could
God.
feel, I could feel an arm around my waist with somebody standing behind me, dancing with me. And I know who it was. And there are times where I do feel a finger on my neck, a touch. And there are times where I do feel, I know when a spirit's going to attach, and it's like fingers crawling. And I'm like, stop, do not attach, don't, no. You cannot have my energy, just unattach. You're not allowed to attach. Because you don't want these attachments because they can then sway your emotions and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Oh my, I'm just like, I have a little bit of goosebumps here. Okay, so can you hear or visualize things like, so you do readings with people, I guess is my
Mhm.
next question. So when you do a reading, and you don't have to do one on me, but let's say we're talking right now, would you, if we were doing, you were in tune to my life, would you see behind me kind of thing, spirits around me? Would you hear messages? What is it that you would see or hear?
I would hear messages and I could feel, because with being a medium, I can also, a spirit can also come over me and I can go ahead and feel it, and then they can give messages. I was working on this one case about a Native American woman who had been murdered, and I'm standing in the kitchen cooking, and all of a sudden she put her entire spirit over me and she started showing me how she cooked and everything else. And I looked to the left and I could see her children playing outside. I could hear them laughing with the dogs and stuff like that. And yeah, I could even see her killer and what and the ritualistic, what he did to kill her and what he did before he put her in a shroud, or she was in the shroud, and what he did. So I can see all of this. And there are times where when someone's energy is coming through faintly, I'll say you're coming through too weak, because it requires energy on their side to be able to manifest. And so that's what I can hear a message faintly and I'll write it down. But I don't have to be attuned to your life. I just need to pick up on your energy. And then let's say you had a question about a deceased loved one. There are times where they are with me and they're just right there waiting. And or I'll say, okay, does anyone know what's happening? Because I live with the afterlife and I have some apps where they'll say their name, or it's like music because they like to listen to music. So I'll turn the music on and that way we can sit and have a good time and just relax. And one of the ghost seer, it's called seer apps. I turned it on and it was just before 6 in the evening and a candle came up. I go, "Oh, yes, I know it's time for meditation."
Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. It must be very different for someone who has this capability and this skill to be able to I don't know, to see and feel these things that no one else can. That we're like, what a gift that you have to be able to do that. And for other people, because I've certainly lost loved ones as well. And we want to believe that there's something more because their love is so strong. Like I've lost people I love so much. It hurt my heart, Gloria. That's how much. But I'm one of those people that when I'm in, I'm 100% on anything, right? But my heart just takes a beating when I lose someone. And so I think it must be, I can't hear anyone, I can't feel them, but I love them so much that I feel pain. But someone else says, "Oh, Teresa, I know that they're coming through." And I think, how can that be? How can someone else think, Gloria, hear them, but I can't? You know where I'm going with that.
Yes, you said you felt them. You
Yeah,
feel their
well,
energy. They
yeah.
are with you. They are around you. Some choose to cross over and some cross over and come back, and some choose to stay here. And some spirits are bound here because of trauma. But you said if you feel like someone's around you or watching you, that's them.
Okay.
So you
See,
do feel them. See,
because
that's
I certainly, in fact, I was telling another wonderful lady that was on, she was a clairvoyant, and I said
mhm.
to her, I actually smelled my husband's cologne or my daughter I had lost a couple of years ago. And I can, every now and then you have the scent of them, but I don't know if that's just because I walked in a room and their items were there, which is quite
Mm.
possible. So but part of you thinks, I don't know. So it's just interesting to me, Gloria.
That's your husband and daughter letting you know they are there.
Thank you for that. I hope they are. I like to think so. I have this picture behind me with the cardinal. It reminds me of my husband always looking down and saying he's there with me, but because I love cardinals, so that's why I do that. But when I think of about people having that gift to be able to give to other people, truly from someone, and I don't want to make it all about me, but as soon as when you give a gift like that to someone who's lost someone and they feel that pain, it is a gift. It is, you're giving to someone the comfort that love wasn't wasted, that there was a reason for it, and they're there watching out for them. That's all, Gloria.
Oh, that is, no, but it comes through smell. And sometimes you might taste something without eating anything of a meal that you shared with someone that you loved.
Wow.
A song may come into your head, and that's them saying, this is our song. This is how I feel about you right now.
Wow.
And that's them communicating as best as they can.
Now, Gloria, how do you separate from people that you knew in life and your people to someone else that you're getting readings from? When you do the readings, you know where I'm coming from on that. Your ancestors or people who love you, how do you separate that? Because that with so many, it would be difficult, right?
Not really, because it's like compartmentalizing, but it's like I tell them I'm going to do a reading now. I need the space. And
Oh, okay.
then I just let them know I need the space. I need to do this. And then I can tune in because they know that when I'm on a podcast, if they are not invited, they don't interrupt me.
Oh,
Um,
isn't that something? So you actually communicate with them and ask for the respect of the distance so that and they know that. So they leave you
yeah.
some space and then you're able to bring in only the person you're talking to. That's incredible. Now, my next question for you is, so you do one-on-one. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you, you do actual online readings, I'm thinking? You do
No,
not.
I do
Okay, so,
no, because I find that I'm not able to fully get the messages within a certain time frame.
oh,
Um,
okay.
I take 1 to 2 days. My website's intuitivegloria.com.
Perfect.
And I do under products and services, it explains and the price. But I do this, they can ask questions. And then I go ahead and I type it out in letter form and put a graphic on there that is relevant to their reading or to them. And then I just go ahead and I start getting messages just strictly for them. And that's why I take that time because it can be more in detail and more in depth. But if they would like to connect with a past loved one, then I can go ahead and do that one-on-one.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so now we know, because that was one of my questions, how they get a hold of
Mhm.
you. Now, do you have, so I know you have a podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
On the air with Gloria Hass, the interdimensional intuitive.
And where would that be on Spotify, all of that, or
It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, and it's on Rumble. But when I put it on Spotify, it goes out to iHeart and Amazon Music. So
perfect?
they would have to type in my name on Amazon Music for it to come up.
Okay, and I'll make sure all of your information's here with your biography, Gloria, so that if anybody wants to reach out to Gloria, they can do that. So that's no problem. And so the next question I have is, then so when you're going forward in life and you're going future, what is your future plans for your business, for your readings? Where are you going in the next 5 years? What do you plan?
I plan on what I'm doing besides my podcast is I like to showcase people like you do and get people to know about them. I do book reviews for paranormal books and I do movie reviews for paranormal movies. And like I said, interview guests. I want to build more of an influencer audience, people who are in that niche, that I can go ahead and, let's say someone says, oh, we are having a spooky slumber party on this date. I take it and I share it for the
Oh,
public to
okay.
see. And it's, let's get these people out there. Let's help them get going on their path. And I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for jumping through hoops on YouTube, like so many shorts and this and making money. And I'm
Sure.
not in that. I'm not in this for that. I'm here to educate people more on the afterlife and things that happen. So I also write a weekly blog, and I'll either put the movie review or the paranormal book review on there. And then I also take something from the supernatural world and post that in a blog. And or if I do a product review for paranormal, that's also on my blog. It's educating people as well as, is this viable or is this not? I've done on-site investigations, but I don't ask, hit the light, jump through this hoop, jump through that. It's not that way at all. I have a EVP meter, and I also have Spirit Talker app to where I have that on and I'm recording it so people can hear what the spirits are saying in audio form to let them know what they might think of something. And they do have your back. If you really listen, they have your back. Because if sometimes I don't feel an energy shift in my apartment, and I'll put on the EVP meter or the Spirit Talker app, or I might have them both on and have them apart from each other. And they'll say, he's creepy, or I'm scared. And I'll say, who's here? They'll say malevolent or dark, or a phantom will come through. Or I've even had the devil come through a couple of
No
times.
way.
Yes, so I kick them out in the name of Jesus. I have them leave. I've had portals open up that I could physically see in my apartment. And I'm like, and I didn't feel, and the energy was masqueraded as positive. And I heard, come with me. And then I hear Gloria, no, in my head. And I'm just like, okay, close up the portal. You're out of here, gone. I'm sealing it up, never to be opened again. But there are different portals that can be opened, and I've seen them also open up on Ghost Tube Seer app. There'd be a portal that's open, and I'm just like, no. And there are people who say these apps don't work, but when a picture comes through from a part of my life that is not public, then don't tell me that it doesn't work.
Oh my goodness. I have goosebumps, Gloria. The devil. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I like to think all spirits are good.
No, not all spirits are demons and angels. We have malevolent, just like somebody in human form. They're not nice people. Their spirits are going to be not nice when they pass.
Oh, that's interesting because there's people who have a cloak over their face that you think are wonderful people, but underneath you scratch the surface, you can see the skeleton.
You can see their mask come
Yes,
away.
exactly. And then and it doesn't take much. All of a sudden you think, oh, wait a minute. And then you see that they're not as nice as they appear to be. And then, oh my goodness, you're right. When they leave this earth, oh my goodness, they got to deal with that. I'm sure if they ask for forgiveness, I guess that'll help. I don't
Oh,
know,
it
but
would be, yeah, it will.
yeah.
My brother, when he died, was into such negative things.
Oh, okay.
And he's went down, I saw him go down a black abyss swirling
Oh,
around. And he cried out to me and said, help me. I said, I can't get you out of that place. And I know the Bible says once they're in hell, they cannot leave, but not that long ago. And it's my brother's been past, I think, 6 or 7 years. But I had Ghost Tube Seer on, and there was a picture of a man with food in his mouth going, ah. And I started laughing because my brother, when we were kids, played look. We would put food in our mouth and chew it up and go, look, bah.
oh, Gloria. I can see you doing that.
We were kids, even
Of
as an
course, we all had
adult.
fun when we were kids. I'm just joking with you. I think
I
it's
know.
great. I
Even
think
when
it's
we were
wonderful.
kids, we were sitting there, brother was in a bad mood. My mom goes, "Can you get your brother out of a bad mood?" I put food in my mouth. I'm chewing up. I go, "Norman." He looked at me and go, "Bad." He goes, "Oh, you're sick." My
I
mom
love
goes,
it.
"Did I have to witness that?"
But you now, if we could circle back, because you said if you go to the bad place, you can't come back out. So I'm thinking he went to heaven.
He initially did not. He went into the abyss, which is held by the devil. But I had someone who is of Chinese background said he was able to evolve into a better person and be able to go to heaven. I'm not going to say I was brought up with the Bible that once they go to hell, there is nothing for them. I've had a different experience with my brother.
Sure.
I'm not saying what is right and what is wrong. I'm just explaining my experience.
Sure. I respect that. I understand where you're
Yeah.
coming with that, Gloria. And everyone has the right to their religious feelings or their thoughts on the afterlife, whatever you want to call it, your spirit, your higher self, your source, whatever it is that you want to accept. So I appreciate that. So Gloria, we've had a wonderful time today. I wondered if you'd like to come back and do another episode with me.
I would love to. I really would.
Thank you. I really truly mean that. That would be fun to do. Now, Gloria, I know you have a YouTube channel, you have your social media. I'll make sure for everyone. So, everyone, you wonderful viewers, this is Gloria Haas. Go to all her social media, her YouTube channel. Do subscribe there. That helps her out. And if you want to join her on her blog, go ahead over there. We'll make sure everything is here for you to do that. So, Gloria, thank you again for your time today.
Thank you, Teresa. You've been a delight.
Oh, you have too. I feel like I've known you forever. Gloria, thank you again. To everyone else,
Thank
this is
you.
Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. Do subscribe to my channel. I truly appreciate that. Subscribe to all of Gloria's channel. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe there. I hope you're having a great day. I look forward to talking to you all very soon.